Right. So the NBA just dropped the All-Star reserves for this season. So the full All-Star roster has been revealed. Let me just go through the entire roster. So East, Giannis, Jalen Brunson, Mitch, Jason Tatum, Cat, and then on the bench reserves, you got Jaylen Brown, Pascal Siakam, DG the PG, Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, Damian Lillard, and Tyler Hero. West starting is Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, LeBron, Shea, Jokic, Anthony Edwards, AD, Harden, Jay, Şengün, J-Dub, and Wemby. We got a lot of talk about, oh, this player got snubbed, that player got snubbed. And I'll just start with the East. So on the East, I'm not gonna lie, I have no issue with this roster whatsoever. The notable people that people say are snubs, which is like Melo and Trae, and then some people just saying like Paulo and Franz for some reason. Lamelo, he's an inefficient player. We know this. He's been an inefficient player this season, hella turnovers, and he also got the injured a lot. So you could really pick at any of them. And the Trae Young has had like probably the worst scoring season of his career, arguably, aside from his rookie season, and then hella turnovers. And Paulo and Franz just got injured. Like, people gonna argue this. Team success has always been a part of the All-Star picks, bro. Even though it's like, oh, people are, okay, it's individuals. Team success has always been a part of it. That's why you see like so many of the top teams have multiple All-Stars. Or like, it's like, oh, if a team is this good, it has to have at least one All-Star, which we're gonna get to that later. And although it's not a fixed percentage that it affects it, you know what I'm saying? The lower your team is in the standings, the more your stats are seen as quote unquote empty stats or like shot chucking or etc. And the higher your record is, the more stuff like inefficiency gets overlooked, as you can see by Harden making it in over Kyrie, even though he shot 39% from the field, 35% from three, 4.6 turnovers. Yeah, like we have multiple good, very good players on like the best teams in the league. It's like you have to give more than one a spot, especially since the fan voting is in the starters. So it's like the players would be like, okay, you gotta appreciate the best players on the best teams. I feel like at least probably the players and coaches think that. I don't know what they're thinking. Obviously, I don't have a media vote. That's just what I think. And on the East side, you see that with the Bucks, Cavs, Celtics all got at least 2 All-Stars, and then especially the Cavs, they got 3 All-Stars. And you have people arguing, oh, the Celtics were the 1 seed by far margin last year, and they only had 2 All-Stars. People are like, oh, like why did Scotty Barnes get in over Derek White? In this season, even though the Cavs are the best team in the league, they're the best team in the league by like 2 games basically. So they're like, oh, they shouldn't have 3 All-Stars. If you actually just look at the numbers, the only argument I could see is if you slot in Porzingis for Emob. But I would still keep Evan Mobley, just I feel like because of the defense and because of the offensive leap, and you know, I would still keep Evan Mobley. But regardless, the fact that it's arguable that, oh, you know, it's arguable just from a number standpoint that for either one of them means I feel like it shouldn't be a problem if either one is in. And if Porzingis was in the game instead, hella people will argue, oh my gosh, why do the Celtics have 3 All-Stars? The Cavs have 3 All-Stars. And you have the super team talk, blah, 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 whatever. On the bench, okay, you got people saying Darius Garland and Tyler Hero shouldn't be in. Instead, it should be Lamelo and Trae. So again, like I said earlier, the efficiency argument, the like stats, the numbers, like DG shooting 49.9, 42.5, 88.3, damn near 50, 40, 90. Like he's playing very amazing. And then Hero 24, 5 and 6 on 47, 40, compared to Trae Young shooting 40% from the field. Lamelo shooting 40% from the field, 42%, my fault, 42%. When you combine like the numbers, how good the team is, what they're doing for the team, like you gotta respect it, bro. Stop being clout chasers and ignoring efficiency and ignoring team record and all that stuff. Like start ignoring that. Like I get why people were mad that Trae's not in, but like especially with Trae, like compared to what Trae usually does, it's like come on, you know what I'm saying? Even though he's the assist leader, he's like barely the assist leader. Trae is a very great basketball player, but like you gotta respect what people's doing, man. And then that's why I have like basically no problem with the East. But then the West, I feel like it's the opposite problem, where the balance is off. Like I feel like the consistency in I feel like it's a balance when you're ranking All-Stars. It's a balance between how good is the player, or what's the player's counting stats, right? Then you have the efficiency, right? Then you have how good is the player defensively, defense, okay? And then you have team record. I feel like you gotta balance all those somehow. But I feel like it's not really consistent how they do it in the West. I feel like it's the opposite problem, and I think a big part of it is fan voting. I'm not gonna lie, but we're gonna get to that later. So looking at this snubs and not snubs. I think there's definitely some snubs here. J-Dub, Dylan Williams, I feel like yes, he has good numbers. He's been a great defender this season, but I feel like the reason why he's in is because of the 2 All-Star thing. Okay, the OKC is the best team in the West by a good margin. They have to have like 2 All-Stars. Whatever, I don't know. And Harden, he's shooting 39% from the field, like I said earlier, 35 from 3 with 4.6 turnovers. Yeah, he does have 8.8 assists, but 4.6 turnovers is kind of crazy. But Harden kind of gets a pass because he's carrying the team. He didn't have his number 1 option for a handful of games this season. He's carrying the team, therefore he has to be All-Star. But like, look at Kyrie. Like Kyrie, who hasn't had Luka for half the season or majority of the season, averaging 24, 5 and 5, 48% from the field, 42% from 3, 89, like 90% from the line. Like, actually put in hella work from the team when he got offensively with like his second option is like PJ Washington. And his number, to be honest, if you look at Curry, he's only started because it's in San Francisco. He has better numbers than him. Kyrie has better numbers than him on a better team. Like, it's just like, I feel like a lot of problems are solved if you literally just swap out Curry for Ant in the start, Curry for Kyrie in the starting lineup, or you could swap out Curry for Ant in the starting lineup, put Kyrie on the bench. And yeah, I think Kyrie just straight up was snubbed. And then if you look at Sabonis, right, I didn't even realize how good Sabonis numbers was. He's just definitively better stats than Şengün, who's on the bench. He's way more efficient. He's at 61% from the field. Meanwhile, Şengün was 49. Like, that's significant. That's not low 3-4% difference. That's like 10-11% difference. He's way more efficient. He gets more rebounds. He has more assists. He's just a better playmaker. I think, yeah, if you just watch the game, he's like okay. I'm not gonna say I'm locked in on like Sabonis defensively and Şengün defensively. It's probably around the same. So yeah, like, he should be an over Şengün from a number standpoint. But the Rockets are the 2 seed while the Kings suck. So the players and the coaches are like, boom, Şengün gotta get one, So it's kind of inconsistent. It's kind of inconsistent. And then obviously, like I said, the fans voted Curry and fans voted LeBron, and you can say, oh, LeBron should. Even like the Lakers are a 5 seed, so to be honest, that's LeBron. So but yeah. And then another people were saying was like snubs was Devin Booker. I really think he was snubbed because I feel like the team isn't good, and you're balancing like the team record with like how good they are statistically with again, also with like whether or not there's another all-star. So you already have Kevin Durant in the starting lineup, Kevin Durant hooper this season. And if we're looking at this imbalances between counter stats, efficiency, defense, how good the team is, he doesn't really have an argument over anyone, that even the people I was saying earlier that Kyrie should be in over. D-Book doesn't really have an argument over any of those other people, except I'll say probably Curry, who I already said Curry really should not be starting. And as bad as it sounds, I know Curry been by himself on the Warriors, blah, 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 blah. But I think a lot of it's straight up result if you just took Curry out of the game, put in Ant, and then add Kyrie. Or if you really wanted, you could add D-Book in there. With all that being said, aside from a couple questionable decisions, I think there wasn't any insane snubs this year. And because of injuries, because of some players just being less efficient than we're used to, when you're looking at D-Book, you're looking at De'Aaron Fox a little bit, looking at Curry, and teams just being way better than we expected them to be as well. Like the Rockets, the Grizzlies. Cade, I voted in for Cade for almost every time. Cade, I'm glad Cade made it to AD been hoping this season. I'm glad he made it. Like, should be starting over Brock. But yeah, the overwhelming amount of players just being in that all-star caliber, I think it's hard to pick 24 players who are having the best season so far. I don't think you have to dwell on it too much. Although aside from, you have some snubs here and there, you have some arguments, but I don't think it was as crazy to pick most people. Like, I think the adjustments is a little bit granular for the most part. There's a couple like obvious, like I don't know, but I think everything else is fine. Let me know how you feel about the all-star picks this year. Also, I think about this until like now, but I think there should be 30 all-stars. That's just my opinion. And yeah,
thank you, bye-bye.